We'll start with the seminar in next 1 minute. I request everyone to keep their phones on mute so that we can have a continuous and a non-stop flow of our event. Thank you.
Swapnil, even Brahmeswar has joined, huh?
Yeah, Brahmeswar has joined. Thank you.
Namaskar.
Shiv sir, please let me know when we can start.
Yeah. मी डॉक्टरना SMS टाकला आहे. त्याचा फोन उचलला नाही त्यांनी.
डॉक्टर साहेब आलेत ना.
डॉक्टर साहब आले. ब्रह्मेश्वर डॉक्टर साहब.
ओके. कहाँ पर दिख नहीं रहे हैं डॉक्टर साहब को?
शिव सर उनको होस्ट भी बना दिया है. एक बार आप चेक कर लो ना.
Yes. Thank you.
Anand sir, are you connected with us over the Zoom call?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm there. I'm waiting for you all to start.
Yeah.
Okay, we were just waiting for you.
Let's request everybody to be mute mode. Swapnil, you can start now.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone, and I welcome you all to this very unique seminar that is organized by Thane branch of ICI. Mental health is something that has been grossly ignored. Physical health is something that today's generation has been taking care for a very long time, but mental health has been grossly ignored. So without coming between you and the speaker, today we have with us Dr. Anand Nadkarni ji, who's a speaker for the event, the director of the event, that is CS Sanjeev Brahmeswar, and we are grateful to have with us the Member of Parliament, Mahaswamiji Dr. Jai Siddeshwar Shivacharya. So I welcome you all for the event. Without any further ado, now I request CS Shiv Bhagwan Asawa to please present his opening remarks.
Thank you, CS Swapnil. Dear members, a very warm welcome to all of you. I really hope you and your loved ones are in the pink of health as I am. I really appreciate that you have taken time out for the event of today. We have event moderator is our very own ever smiling CA Anaga Jatar. Our chief guest Dr. Jai Siddeshwar ji. Our chief guest Dr. Jai Siddeshwar ji. Maharaj ji, आपका प्रणाम करता हूँ. Coming to today's seminar, Resilience in Crisis, we have the best man to deal with the subject is Dr. Anand Nadkarni. Big round of applause for him. My sincere thanks to CA Sanjeev Brahmeswar, Program Director of this event, helping Thane branch to organize this much desired event. We also recognize presence of past CCM CA Mangesh Kindre sir. Before going further, we have few announcements. We have Vocal for Local Speaker Series 4 from 10th of June to 13th of June of this month. All those sessions will be 5 to 7 p.m. and all the speakers are from MMRDA region only, as the name of the series suggested. Registration link will be forwarded to you in due course of time. Registration invitation will be sent to you. Please register yourself. Process is very simple as usual. You have to join the group and share your membership number and email ID. Respected members, I encourage you to freely ask any question to Dr. Nadkarni sir. You may have through the chat box only. Let's make this session engaging and helpful. CA Anaga Jatar will pick up question from chat box depending upon availability of time. Now I request CA Swapnil Kolte to introduce today's chief guest, Jai Siddeshwar ji Maharaj.
Thank you, Asawa ji. So we have with us an honorable Member of Parliament, Dr. Jai Siddeshwar Shivacharya. Dr. Ji, the Member of Parliament, is one of the highly qualified Member of Parliament. He's representing the Solapur constituency of Maharashtra. He is one of the rare politicians who has become a Member of Parliament from a non-political background, that is more of a social and a religious background. He has always dedicated his entire life towards the upliftment of the society. On the member of parliament front, he is the member of the standing committee on human resource development and member of consultative committee and the Ministry of Culture and Tourism. He's also the member of standing committee on education, women, children, youth, and sport. So we are grateful and we are thankful for Maharaj Ji for being here. We are again thankful for him for the last year when the chartered accountants visit to the parliament. It was organized by our very beloved member of parliament, Dr. Jai Siddeshwar Shivacharya Ji. We are thankful for that. Sir, if you could guide us with your words of wisdom, we'll be grateful.
महाराज जी आपको अनम्यूट करना पड़ेगा, आप अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं महाराज जी।
जी हो गया।
हाँ बोलिए बोलिए।
आराध्य सदगुरु के दिव्य चरणों में विनम्र अभिवादन करते हुए आपके क्षेत्र के अधिनायक को भी विनम्र पूर्वक अभिवादन करते हुए आज आप लोगों के बीच मुझे बुलवा करके 2-4 शब्द कहने के लिए जो आमंत्रित किया है, उपस्थित आप सभी के मनोमंदिर में वास किया उस भगवान को भी मैं नतमस्तक होता हूं। भाइयों, आज का यह सत्र बहुत ही अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण सत्र है ऐसे मुझे लगता है, क्योंकि अंतरराष्ट्रीय ख्याति प्राप्त विद्वान डॉक्टर नाडकर्णी जी का उपदेश हमें सभी लोगों को आनंद तो दे ही देगी, उसके साथ ही साथ उत्साह बढ़ाने में समर्थ होगी ऐसे मैं मानता हूं। मान्यवर श्री शिव भगवान असावा ठाणे ब्रांच के चेयरमैन जी का अनुरोध का मैं सम्मान करते हुए आपके सम्मुख उपस्थित हुआ हूं। आप सभी विद्वानों के बीच मुझे पाकर हर्ष और महसूस कर रहा हूं, क्योंकि किसी ने कहा है सज्जन को सज्जन मिले तो हुई 2-2 बातें। सज्जन को सज्जन मिले तो हुई 2-2 बातें, गधा से गधा मिले तो खाए 2-2 लातें। इसलिए आप सभी विद्वान सकारात्मक विचार सरणी के सृजनशील व्यक्तिमत्व के बीच जो आज चर्चा हो रही है, हर्ष उल्लास के अलावा अच्छे कार्य करने में निश्चित ही प्रेरित करते रहेंगे। इसीलिए सज्जन को सज्जन मिले तो हुई 2-2 बातें, यह वाक्य खरा उतरता है। विद्वानगण, आज पूरा विश्व कोरोना महामारी से ग्रस्त है, जिसके कारण मानव समाज त्रस्त है, व्यथित है, भयाक्रांत है, चिंताग्रस्त है। हर व्यक्ति टेंशन से युक्त है। शास्त्रों में कहा गया है बंधु कि चितायाश्च चिंतायाश्च बिंदु मात्रेण विशेषतः चिता दहति निर्जीव शरीरम चिंता दहति सजीव शरीरम। चिता और चिंता, इन 2 शब्दों में केवल बिंदु का ही एक अंतर है। चिता लिखने से शून्य नहीं आती, चिंता लिखने से ऊपर बिंदु आती है, किंतु दोनों का अर्थ और उसकी व्यापकता और कार्य अलग अलग है। चिता का अर्थ है अग्नि और चिंता का अर्थ है टेंशन, जैसे आप सभी लोग जानते हैं। चिता दहती निर्जीव शरीरम। अब देखिएगा, बिंदु नहीं है, चिता लिखा हुआ है, तो निर्जीव शरीर का दहन करती है ये चिता, किंतु चिंता जो है सजीव देह का दहन करती है। इसलिए चिंता मुक्त जीवन जीना हर व्यक्ति का सही मायने में कार्य होना चाहिए, ऐसे मुझे लगता है। आप सभी लोग जो है विद्वान हैं, हर समय क्रेडिट डेबिट एडिट में उलझे रहते हैं। हर समय क्रेडिट डेबिट एडिट में उलझे रहते हैं, जिसमें केवल आंकड़े का खेल है। जोड़ना, तोड़ना और एडिट करके रिपोर्ट प्रस्तुत करना, इसी में उलझे हुए रहते हैं। बंधु, जिंदगी में भी खेल में भी क्रेडिट डेबिट और एडिट का अहमियत है, ऐसे मुझे लगता है। इसलिए मैं कहना चाहता हूं, जीवन में चिंता को डेबिट करना चाहिए। जीवन में चिंता को डेबिट करना चाहिए, खुशियों को क्रेडिट करना चाहिए। खुशियों को क्रेडिट करना चाहिए। वचनों से, कार्यों से, सलाह मशवरा से आनंद प्राप्त करते हुए दूसरों को आनंद बांटने की एडिट भी बनानी है। ये हम सभी लोगों को ख्याल में रखना चाहिए। मैं समझता हूं हर देशवासी का जिम्मेदारी बढ़ गई है। देश के प्रधानमंत्री सम्माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी का जो 5 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी सपने को पूरा करने का दायित्व हमें सभी पर है। आप सभी सीए लोगों का योगदान इसमें अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण है। यह मैं उल्लेख करना भूलना नहीं चाहता। बंधुओं, जिंदगी न थमी है न रुकी है। जिंदगी न थमी है न रुकी है, बस अवांछनीय कारण जीवन की रफ्तार कम हुआ है। भागती दौड़ती जिंदगी के अचानक लगा हुआ इस ब्रेक को मानसिक सकारात्मक विचारों से पुनः तेज रफ्तार से दौड़ाया जा सकता है। यह सभी लोगों को विश्वास करना चाहिए। इसीलिए मैं कहा कि आज का यह सत्र महत्वपूर्ण है। आज का यह व्याख्यान सत्र हमें सभी लोगों को नए विचार, नए फंक, नई ऊर्जा प्रदान करने में, जीवन को सफल बनाने में सक्षम होगी। मैं इस तरह मानता हूं। मैं इस आयोजित ज्ञान सत्र का भूरी भूरी प्रशंसा करते हुए सराहना करता हूं। मैं श्री शिव भागवन आसवा जी और उनके सभी साथियों को मेरे निकटस्थ और उनके निकटस्थ हर कार्य में साथ देने वाले पुणे निवासी रविंद्र जी को आभार प्रदर्शन करना भूलना नहीं चाहता। आप लोगों के बीच एक सन्यासी आया है। आप लोगों के बीच एक संत आया है। जैसे ही शुरुआत हुई उस समय सभी लोग जो है एक दूसरों को अभिवादन करते हुए, भगवान श्री जी का नाम लेते हुए मैंने सुना, मैं भी गदगदित हुआ कि आप जैसे लोगों के बीच भी जो है भगवान मन में घर बसा करके रखा है। इसलिए चिंता को छोड़ो, चिंतन करो। चिंता को छोड़िए, चिंतन करते रहिए। यही मैं आप लोगों से निवेदन करना चाहता हूं। मैं आपसे आग्रह पूर्वक निवेदन करना चाहता हूं कि यह समय परीक्षा का समय है। हर व्यक्ति का परीक्षा का समय है। हर जीवन का परीक्षा का समय है। कई प्रश्न हैं, बशर्ते बस एक ही सेंटेंस में पूरा करना चाहता हूं। द होल वर्ल्ड इज ड्रामा थिएटर। बंधु, यह पूरा विश्व जो है एक रंगमंच है। द होल वर्ल्ड इज ड्रामा थिएटर, वी आर ऑल एक्टर्स। आपको एक अभिनय करने का जो है पात्र मिला है, तो मुझे एक अभिनय करने का पात्र मिला है। पूरा विश्व ड्रामा थिएटर है। हम सभी उस ड्रामा थिएटर के पात्रधारी है। वी डू आवर ड्यूटी करेक्टली, एक्यूरेटली, perfectly, then we will owe to God, then we will reach to God। यह शेक्सपियर का जो है कहने की बात है। इसलिए हम सभी लोग मिल करके इस भारत देश को फिर एक बार दोबारा जो है विश्व गुरु बनाने की प्रक्रिया में हम आज नींव रखेंगे। यह मैं आशय व्यक्त करता हूं। साथ ही साथ फिर भूलना नहीं चाहता हमारे श्री आसवा जी को, श्री पुणे निवासी रविंद्र जी को आभार प्रदर्शन करते हुए आप सभी लोगों को पुनः आपके मनोमंदिर में वास किया हुआ उस भगवान श्री चरणों में विनम्र अभिवादन करते हुए धन्यवाद प्रस्तुत करता हूं। साथ ही साथ आप सभी लोग सुरक्षित रहे, स्वस्थ रहे, क्रियाशील रहे और आनंदित जीवन बिताने के लिए सक्रिय रहेंगे, यह विश्वास करते हुए ओम शांति। सभी लोगों को धन्यवाद। शांति शांति शांति।
महाराज जी बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।
महाराज जी,
जी प्लीज।
महाराज जी श्री चरणों में
जी।
प्रणाम, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
जय
आप
जय हो,
फोन
जय
कॉल
हो।
पे यहाँ आए।
देशवासियों का
हाँ।
जीवन बचा।
यस,
बस
Now-
परिचय बस
देश
बस
में
परिचय
कम होते
परिचय रहने
कोरोना के
दीजिएगा,
मामलों पे भी
भूलिए
हाँ।
भूलिएगा मत इस संत को।
केंद्र सरकार
नहीं नहीं महाराज जी, क्यों भूलेंगे आपको?
अलग अलग
हम
सुझाव
आएंगे,
जी,
बहुत
जी,
जल्दी
धन्यवाद।
सोलापुर आएंगे।
भिन्न भिन्न मांगे होने लगे।
स्वागत करेंगे
पूछा
शिवा
जाने
दुबे
लगा।
जी।
यस
सब
यस,
कुछ
मैं
भारत सरकार ही तय कर रही थी।
जी,
राज्य सरकारों
मैं
को
आप
छूट
सभी लोगों
नहीं दी
से
जा रही।
बहुत
आप सभी लोगों से विदा
राज्य
आप सभी लोगों से विदा ले सकता हूँ।
नहीं मिल रही है।
हम्म,
वन साइड
जरूर महाराज जी।
does not fit
आसवा जी,
all।
आप सभी लोगों से विदा ले
हाँ,
सकता
हाँ,
हूँ।
बात भी
ठीक।
कही गई।
धन्यवाद।
दलील ये दी गई कि संविधान में
now
चूंकि हेल्थ
I request
आरोग्य
ever
प्रमुख
smiling
रूप से
Anaga Jata
राज्य का
to
विषय
take
है।
charge of the session. Anaga, please.
Thank you so much. I would request CA Sanjeev Brahme to share a few words with us. Sanjeev sir. Sanjeev sir. Hello, am I audible?
सर को अनम्यूट करने को बोलो।
You are
Sanjeev
audible.
sir?
You are audible, Anaga.
Okay, okay.
Sanjeev sir. Sanjeev Brahme sir.
आसवा जी
हाँ जी।
जी, आनंद नाडकर्णी साहब को मैं अभिवादन करना चाहता हूँ।
आनंद नाडकर्णी सर,
नाडकर्णी साहब
आनंद नाडकर्णी साहब है। हाँ
जी, आपको सोलापुर आने के लिए मैं आमंत्रित करना चाहता हूँ। कभी आप हमको भी समय दीजिएगा।
नाडकर्णी सर, आपको अनम्यूट करना पड़ेगा।
अनम्यूट कीजिएगा,
करना
सुनाई नहीं
पड़ेगा।
दे रहा।
आप आज्ञा कीजिए, हम आ जाएंगे।
जी बिल्कुल, स्वागत करूंगा हर्ष और उल्लास के साथ।
बिल्कुल
धन्यवाद।
बिल्कुल।
आपको आज मिल करके बहुत प्रसन्नता हुई और इसके लिए मैं पुनः धन्यवाद देता हूँ शिव भागवान आसवा जी को।
नमस्ते नमस्ते जी।
नमस्ते नमस्ते नमस्ते। इरली ಔಟ್ ನಾ ಫಕ್ತ ನಾನು ಇದು ಮಾಡು।
रमेश सर म्यूट व्हायला लागेल तुम्हाला।
Ramesh sir, are you there?
म्यूट व्हायला लागेल रमेश सरांना।
स्वप्नील एकदा कॉल करून बघ त्यांना.
Oh, Sanjeev Ramesh sir, if you can hear us, you'll have to unmute, sir. There is an unmute option over there on your screen.
He's trying, but he could not.
स्वप्निल कॉल कर देना, कॉल कर।
स्वप्निल फोन कर रहा है। स्वप्निल,
I called, sir. Sir is not answering the call.
नहीं, मेरे से फोन पे थे, वो अनम्यूट नहीं कर पा रहे अपने आप।
Can you unmute? You are the
Let
host
me,
over there. Can you unmute over there? You can unmute from there, sir, from your screen.
मैं होस्ट नहीं हूँ, रूपा है, मैं बोल देता हूँ करने के लिए। गिव मी 1 minute.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Loud
Thank
and
you.
clear.
Are you clear?
Thank you, thank you. ब्रह्मे सर बोलिए।
ज्या ठिकाणी मंजाय माझे त्या ठिकाणी निजरूप होत होते, मी ठेवितो मस्तक ज्या ठिकाणी तेथे जे सद्गुरु बाहेर दोरी सद्गुरू महाराज। आदरणीय महाराज श्री chairman of branch Shubhagan Asawa, vice chairman and secretary of the branch Swapnil Kolte, today's esteemed speaker and my great good friend Dr. Anand Nadkarni ji, today's moderator C. Anaga Jathar, past CCM Mangesh Kindre, and all other faculty members. Good evening to all of you. At the outset, I am thankful to Thane branch chairman for giving me the opportunity to be in this program and to present my views in my role as a program director. We are assembled here to listen the piece of advice from Dr. Nadkarni on how to overcome stress in professional life. Initially, the title was Resilience in Crisis. What it means, ability to withstand the adversity and bounce back. The pandemic situation has really tested all of us and our resilience. आयुष्यात दोन आरोग्य सांभाळायला लागतात, एक मानसिक आरोग्य आणि एक शारीरिक आरोग्य. In this pandemic, we are forced to stay at home. We are taking care of our physical health, sitting at home, not going to anybody, not having interaction. Our mental health has taken somewhat toll. On one side, we are dependent on and glued to electronic gadgets, computer, other electronic media, mobile, and other side, we have started becoming introvert. The people who are otherwise extrovert have become introvert due to this pandemic situation, sitting in the house. How much time they can have interaction with the family people? They have no other interaction. That forced them to become introvert. आपल्याकडे डॉक्टर आनंद नाडकर्णी आले, ते याच विषयावरून आपले संवाद साधतील. असं म्हणतात की मन हे खूप चंचल असतं आणि आता इट गेट्स अफेक्टेड बाय द सराउंडिंग्स. कुठेतरी आपल्या मनात अशी भीती आहे आणि ती भीती अशी आहे की whether what will happen to my profession, whether my clients will stick around, whether my staff will continue, what about my monthly obligations towards loan repayments and other things, what are my household expenses. These are the lurking fears in our mind for last rather 1.5 years, because last February and March we started having this pandemic situation and is continuing now. Today only we saw the lockdown being lifted for some time at least. Now this is affecting our home atmosphere also. But then we have to take the way out from this situation. Here comes a resilience. We have withstood now, and now we have to bounce back. Recently, I read one book on yoga and meditation, which was published in 1957. त्याच्यात मला एक रेफरन्स एका पुस्तकाचा मिळाला, which is written by Geraldine Koester. Her title of her book was Yoga and Western Psychology. There is mentioned concentration, deliberation, and contemplation. मला वाटतं now it is need of the hour that we have to follow, we have to adopt to this 3 items which she has mentioned, or 3 pieces of advice she has mentioned, and we have to cope up with situation and bounce back. स्वामी चिन्मयानंदांचं एक वाक्य मला माझ्या समोर आलं. Life never moves smoothly as straight line. We are used to certain pattern of life and it has become difficult for us to the changes which happened due to pandemic. त्याच वेळी मला दुसरं एक वाक्य वाचनात आलं. ग्रेट थिंकर जे कृष्णमूर्ती, त्याने असं म्हटलंय, लाईफ इज लाईक रिव्हर, नेव्हर स्टिल, ऑलवेज मूव्हिंग, अलाइव अँड रिच. वी हॅव टू बी लाईक दॅट रिव्हर. नाउ वी हॅव टू मूव्ह, always move, alive and rich, and see that we come out of this pandemic situation. The mental frame which we are undergoing, and Dr. Anand Nadkarni session will definitely help us to come out of this particular situation. जाता जाता स्वामी विवेकानंदजींचं एक वाक्य जो पॅरा आहे त्याच्यातले फक्त 3च वाक्य मी वाचतो आणि मी आय एंड अप विथ माय प्रेझेंटेशन. उठा, जागे व्हा, आता झोपून चालायचे नाही. साऱ्या उणीवा, सारे दुःख समूळ नष्ट करण्याची शक्ती तुमच्यातच आहे, यावर दृढ विश्वास ठेवा. म्हणजे ती शक्ती आपोआपच जागृत होईल. तुम्ही देखील आपल्यात अनंत शक्ती वसत आहे, अपरंपार ज्ञान साठवले आहे, अदम्य उत्साह रसस्व आहे असे चिंतन कराल आणि त्याचबरोबर तर या अंतस्थ शक्तीला जागे करू शकाल तर आपण या पॅन्डेमिक सिच्युएशनहून नक्की बाहेर पडू असा मला विश्वास आहे. मला वाटतं I tried to do some justice in this 5 minutes period time which was allotted to me, and I'll hand over the proceedings to Anaga. And thank you, Dr. Anand Nadkarni, for having accepted invitation and be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really insightful.
Thank you, Sanjeev Brahme sir. Anaga, you are audible. Continue.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I am given the task of introducing Dr. Anand Nadkarni, which is a very difficult task. If I list all his achievements and contribution to mental health, we would be here all day, but I'm still going to try. Dr. Nadkarni completed his medical graduation and earned MD in psychiatry from Mumbai University. He has been a practicing psychiatrist for more than 3 decades now. A great thinker, Marcel Proust, has famously said, "The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes." Dr. Nadkarni has given us new eyes to look at mental health. He has pioneered the Institute for Psychological Health, IPH, which is the Mecca for mental health in Thane. Here, more than 70 mental health professionals work under one roof. IPH has been doing groundbreaking work in making therapy accessible, destigmatizing mental health, and training mental health professionals. He is also the founder trustee of Muktangan De-Addiction Center in Pune and a trustee of Swayam Rehabilitation Center for Disabled Children. Through 17 award-winning books translated in English and even in Braille, he has been a creative consultant to national award-winning film Devrai and state award-winning film Kadachit. He has trained professionals in leading corporates such as Reliance, Siemens, and Cipla. His drive to simplify complex subjects is not just restricted to psychology. With his deep study of Hindu philosophy, Indian and world history, literature, cinema, his lectures are brimming with wisdom and insight. He has been awarded Thane Nagar Ratna, Thane Bhushan, Samaj Shikshak Award, and Arogya Naneshwar Award, to name a few. Accept my apologies if I have missed out on anything. It is only because of how thrilled I am to be welcoming Dr. Nadkarni with us. Dr. Nadkarni?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank
Namaskar and good evening to all the members of this prestigious association. And thank you so much for inviting me this evening to share my views and experiences on a very important subject that all of us are experiencing day in and day out. In these days of endemic, everybody is telling us to be positive. And what has happened is that these two words, positive and negative, they have become more complicated in last 1.5 years. Because be positive, but if you are positive, then you will require treatment also. So positive and negative, these are two very interesting words that have come. Now let's not talk about the corona positive and corona negative, but let's talk about what we call positive attitude, negative attitude. Everybody talks about that in these days of crisis, be positive, don't be negative. And then our mind wonders that day to day I see somebody getting afflicted, somebody losing near and dear one, and so many bad news are reaching my ears and penetrating my mind. How can I be positive? How can I look at life with that ray of positivity. So that comes to our mind. Now, therefore, we have to first understand that positive and negative should not be seen as polarities. Our mind sees them as polarities. एक तर तुम्ही पॉझिटिव्ह असता, नाही तर तुम्ही निगेटिव्ह असता. But is it the reality? We all at any given time do have some optimistic thoughts, some pessimistic thoughts. We all have at all times some pleasurable emotions and some harmful emotions, painful emotions. We all have at the same time in our mind some noble goals and some self-centric goals. So the first thing that we need to understand about mind is to come out of these polarities, that being negative and being too positive as two poles. That is not the case. So how do we define positivity in this kind of a scenario? I define it simply by using three words. That being positive in this scenario means being constructive. Number two, being consistent. And being number three, being cohesive. So I'll dwell on each of these terms. So first is constructive. What is constructive? What is constructive goal and what is constructive behavior? Constructive goal and constructive behavior means that I will look after my interests, but I will also link the interests of all others to my interest. So it is always not me, but we. So constructive is not self-centric. By its very definition, constructive means that it is a linking of my interests with others' interests. So it is always sahano bhavatu sahano bhunaktu. And that is constructive. The second is consistent. That all of us, faced with so many uncertainties, are now finding it very difficult to be consistent. That first it was some months, then it was some year, then second year. Now we are talking about third wave. But there is no other way to consistency because, and we'll see what are the hurdles and how to be consistent. But unless we are consistent, we cannot really be resilient. So being consistent is the second point, and third is cohesive. By cohesive, I mean cooperative and inclusive. Unless we stand by each other, unless we look after each other, we won't be cohesive as a family, as an organization, as a society, as a culture also. So if we keep in mind these three words, that we have to be constructive, consistent and cohesive, that for me means positivity. Now what are the hurdles? The first hurdle is that whenever you face so many uncertainties, your mind tends to become self-centric. Jaan bache to lakho paaye. What is going to happen to me, my practice, my family, my lifestyle, my status? So what is very important is to understand that all crisis situations will push our mind to self-centric thoughts. Nothing wrong. This is how our mind works. And are all self-centric thoughts wrong? No, they are not. There is a grain of truth, or there is a gram of truth in the point that we have to first look after ourselves. It is like that instruction that we receive in the plane, that if you are carrying a child with you, first put the oxygen mask on yourself. But then that instruction is very interesting, that because of that you are also going to take care of the child, and that is constructive. So if you are only taking your oxygen, then it is self-centric. So let's be self-centric up to that extent. But then we have to also help the child. And then in the position of the child will be a family member, will be a colleague, will be a client, anybody. So that is how we have to work. We have to breathe first. But because we have to save and we have to also help the other person around. So that is something that we have to keep in mind regarding being constructive. Because without that, we can't be constructive. So constructive means that looking after your interests with the interests of others. From then only cooperation will start. From then only cohesion will start. And then one can go one step ahead, what I call as going from cooperation to collaboration. Cooperation starts with a need, but collaboration is a more evolved process. How? Because collaboration is willing. If you go back to that story in Panchatantra, that there were all these birds and they were in a net. And when they were caught in the net, what happened was that each one of them tried to fly. And then nobody could really break the net. Then all of them, they decided to try at once. And then they could break the net. That was cooperation, because there was a need. But when all the birds were free, the flock decided that all of us will choose a direction, will make a formation, will choose a goal, and majestically fly towards our destination. That was collaboration. And why? Because now they were acting out of their own free will. So that is a very interesting point today, that the current scenario not only asks for cooperation, but also tells us that we have to evolve it to collaboration. Even if times change for a little better, we have to work further together. Then only we'll be consistent. So that is constructive. Looking after linking my interests with others' interests is constructive. Going from cooperation to collaboration to integration is constructive. So constructive is one part. Second part is consistent. In any performance that all of us are doing, in our own professions, in our own jobs, it's important today to focus more on process than on results. What is the cornerstone of that shloka that Swamiji said about Chitta and Chinta in his introduction? That Chinta comes out of outcome thinking. And always see, tension comes, आता काय होणार, होणार means outcome. आता हे असंच होणार, होणार is outcome. So it is always outcome thinking that causes chinta. Now we have two types of thinking. One is called process thinking and the other is called outcome thinking. The more you focus on your process, how do you focus on your process? Number one, you can add value, skill to the process. Number two, you can add beauty to the process. Number three, you can add your positive emotions to the process. So if you add skill, that is quality, beauty, and process emotions, in whatever that you are doing, in whatever, then what happens? What is called as samarasata. Then you become samarasa with whatever you are doing, and what happens? You are keeping outcome orientation, but you do not get dictated by outcome. And that is a wonderful solution or alternative. That focus on the quality, focus on the beauty, focus on the emotions by which you are doing anything. And the more you will become samarasa, the more you will become tanmaya. The word tanmaya in Sanskrit is very good. It says tatmaya. So be whatever you are doing. Try to be. And what happens is that if you focus more on process, you are not dominated, dictated by the outcome. That is actually a wonderful way of dealing with stress, dealing with distress. Now, you will ask me, okay, agreed, we will do this. But shouldn't we think of outcome? I never said that you shouldn't think. But our mind tends to think about outcome as if one outcome is a certainty. And that is the problem with our mind. Now, if I take negative outcome as a certainty, इसके बाद में कुछ नहीं होने वाला है, ये सब ना जाने वाला है यार दुनिया. So I take negative as a certainty, I become anxious, I become depressed. If I take positive possibility as a certainty, I'll say, सब तो अच्छा ही होने वाला है, कोरोना क्या है, 2-4 महीने रहेगा. I take positive outcome as a certainty, I become complacent. That's what happened to us between the first and the second wave. We all became a little complacent. So if you take outcome certainty, whether positive or negative, you are more likely to land in soup. So look at outcome as a bunch of possibilities. Now, when you look at it as a bundle of possibilities, bunch of possibilities, what happens is that there are many, there are some that are pleasurable, desirable, there are some that are not desirable, always a bunch. So when you have that bunch in your mind, what will you go for? You'll obviously go for desirable ones, no problem. When you select desirable possibilities, then that bunch should help you to have a plan. But don't push all the undesirable possibilities out of your sight, because that is your material for all contingency planning. So you have a prospective planning and you have a contingency planning. Prospective planning is for prosperity. Contingency planning is for crisis. So now I'm looking at the bunch. I'm selecting the desirable. I'm also analyzing the undesirable. And then comes a very important aspect that I now ask myself every time, what is within my control and what is beyond my control? There is this wonderful prayer, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Give me courage to change the things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference. So what is within my control and what is beyond my control? And this, I think all of us have to ask every time, each moment during this time of crisis. In our Muktangan De-Addiction Center, whose mention was done in my introduction, this whole Prarthana was converted into Marathi by late Devdatta Dabholkar, who was Vice Chancellor of Pune University. And he did it just like that. And the Marathi poetry is very nice. It says, Je talane ashakya, de shakti te sahaya. Je talane ashakya, de shakti te sahaya. जे शक्य साध्य आहे निर्धार दे कराया. मज काय शक्य आहे, आहे अशक्य काय, माझे मला कळाया, दे बुद्धी देवराया. It's such a wonderful poem. It tells us, this Prarthana tells us the difference between what is possible for me now, what is not possible for me now. So it tells you, जिसे टालना नामुमकिन हो, दिल से कर स्वीकार, जिन लम्हों को समझ सको जा, हिम्मत से उस पार. मर्यादा है कौन सी मेरी, क्या है शक्ति स्थान, पहचानूं मैं गौर से इनको, बुद्धि दे भगवान. So with that kind of a spirit, I have to convert possibilities into probabilities. So now I have converted possibilities into probabilities, but nothing is certain till it happens. Nothing is certain. Till that time, I will have to work on all these uncertainties. These are unfamiliar uncertainties. Previously, we were dealing with familiar uncertainties, which were relatively familiar. So we will have to wait till it happens, and till that time, relentlessly. I remember there was this test match sometime back in Australia where Rahul Dravid had stood like a wall. And he batted so well, and India finally won that match. And I remember his last square drive. He was a epitome of process orientation, totally devoted, had worked on all factors within control, and had brought his team to that end. And then he, last ball, the winning shot. So he cuts it, square cut. The ball goes, and Rahul Dravid's eyes, they follow that ball. And it's only when the ball crosses the boundary, then he gives himself the liberty to feel happy, satisfied, and confident. Still dominated by process. And that is what it is. That if you are dominated by process, then you will not get daunted by results. Just 5 months back, the young Indian team in Australia did the same thing. No, you lose the first test very miserably. Your captain comes back. You have all these rookies playing for you. And their collective, for the bowlers, collectively they are, they have got some 10 wickets or 12 wickets. And the opponents have hundreds of wickets amongst them. What do? You only focus on the process. You keep the outcome, but you keep the outcome at bay and say that I am going to do my best, come what may. So this is what Mohammad Siraj did. That is what Washington Sundar did. That is what Shardul Thakur did. And all these rookies, benefit of that kind of exposure, didn't they come as a wonderful, didn't they cause a wonderful upset for all of us? Now that is what we have to do as a team. That everybody doing his best, everybody giving his best to the process. So look at that inning of Ashwin and Hanuma Vihari, both were injured. They're playing doggedly, giving everything that they have to the process. So I think that's a great case study of resilience for all of us as Indians, which was very fortunately given by young people. And that shows that maturity doesn't depend on age. It's a virtue, it's a skill, but it can be imbibed. And if you are hungry enough, you can imbibe it. So that is something which will make all our endeavors cohesive. Because now you are consistent. Now you are not dominated by outcome thinking. Now your anxiety is less. So when that happens, then we become consistent. Now let's come to the third point, and that is cohesion. Cohesion can come in a group if we have that one power That is called as empathy. During this time, how do we understand the other person's emotions? And what do we do about it? It's not only understanding, but what do we do? Whatever is within our limits, are we doing it? So that is something that we need to ask. To be cohesive means to be understanding. That nobody is perfect. And when I have to be cohesive, please understand that I don't have to deny my vulnerabilities. During these times, if at evening you become very lonely, sad, depressed, it's okay. You become very irritable someday, it's okay. You are a human being, you are vulnerable. And your vulnerability is something to be looked at, to be accepted, to be worked upon, but not to be denied. Because who is there who is perfect? Nobody. But therefore, if I'm vulnerable and I want to accept my vulnerability, it's very important that people around me are empathic towards it. And therefore, this is going to be a mutual trait. So what is going to happen? One day I will be wounded emotionally, professionally, and I will sit in a corner all lonely. And then a member of my family comes and puts his or her shoulders around me and says, okay, okay, Papa, this too shall pass. So for that moment, I am the wounded Arjun, and my teenager girl or my son, they are my Shri Krishnas. They are telling me through their empathic behavior that the battle may have been lost, but the war is out there. Next day, the tables may turn, and the teenager would get very frustrated because social deprivation. No friends, nothing. काय करायचं घरात बसून? At that time, I would put my hands across his or her shoulder, take him close and say, I can understand, रे. मला पण असंच होतं. कळतंय मला. काय करूया आपण दोघे जण मिळून? So I include, because empathy is very inclusive. And then we again reset ourselves. So please understand, friends, that these are going to be mutually changing positions. Someday I will be Arjun, someday I will be Sri Krishna, and vice versa. But that is what is the key to maintain that cohesion. Because without empathy, without expression of empathy, that is a very important point, that exchanging. This is the time to share. This is not the time to grab. This is the time to share everything, because that is empathy in action. In Gautam Buddha's kathas, stories, one day there is a bhikshu, a disciple of Gautam Buddha. He goes for his daily alms, for bhiksha. And in the town, he doesn't get anything. So he goes to a corner of the village or town. In a dilapidated hut, there is a frail old woman. She is very poor. She has only one roti that day. She is making. She may not have the next meal. And when she sees him, she welcomes him. And she says, "Are wherever alas, you came on time. Bhakri hai, ardi tuji, ardi machi." So with her smiling face, she gives that to him. And when he comes back and tells this story to Gautam Buddha says that this is the most sacred piece of bread that you have ever received. And then he makes a wonderful statement. He says that because of these nameless and faceless people, sky has not befallen on humanity. So let us be the faceless people. Let's be the people who are unknown. And let's continue to do our work. And you will believe me, history can prove this, that cultures and civilizations have dealt with crisis not only because of their leaders, but because of contributions of nameless and faceless people who did not even think about whether their names ever will be mentioned in history. So true writers of history never write their names on it. It's only the representatives of these people who are called leaders. Their names are written in history. So all of us aspire to be leaders. But here, during the endemic, these times have told us, let's not be leaders. Let's be faceless, let's be nameless, but let's do whatever is our endeavor so genuinely, so beautifully, so full of quality that history will be changed. My name will not be there. Will not be there. But then I would have written it. There was this movie called The Longest Day, which was made on Second World War. And this is based on the invasion of Normandy that the Allied forces did as a final blow to the Nazi regime. When this mega film was screened, a lot of veterans were called, invited for that premiere. And one journalist was interviewing one veteran, and the journalist asked the veteran, "Sir, what is your opinion about this movie?" So the veteran says, "Well, my lad, I wrote it for you." So that's a wonderful statement, no? That veteran, nameless, faceless veteran says, "My lad, I wrote it for you." That is what history is. And we have a great chance to write that history. And for that, if there is empathy, we'll all be cohesive. If we go towards, again, the self-centricness, we will go towards disintegration. Social scientists warn us that after endemic, problems that can come. The first problem, they say, is called retreatism. Retreatism means going back in terms of knowledge, going back in terms of values, becoming more self-centric, becoming more rigid, becoming more polarized. So that is called as retreatism. Second, ritualism. Second R. Ritualism means that you go for things to seek solace and make ritual of everything. You also lose interest and make ritual of everything. So the word ritualism is taken in a very wide context, not only in the religious context. And the third, they say, is rebellion. That the mind becomes so distressed that finally it gives rise to social unruly behavior. So it is retreatism, ritualism, and rebellion. These three forces will have bad effects on cohesion. And if you really work on cohesion, then the fourth R comes. That is called as resilience. That when the three are not there, the fourth emerges. When the three are controlled, contained, then the fourth emerges. And then that fourth is called resilience. So resilience is a very mixed state. It's a state of thinking, it's a state of emotions, it's a state of action. The name resilience that we use in English, in Sanskrit, there is a wonderful name for it. It is called as titiksha. And if you go back to our own wisdom, Titiksha is a wonderful state. It's not a single emotion. And resilience also is a state. So in Titiksha, what happens? In Titiksha, there is a dogged determination for discovery of self. That is how our rishis from the Upanishads describe Titiksha. That's a dogged determination for discovery of self by continuous learning. That is called the tapas. So it's the dogged determination for your self-discovery based on continuous learning. That is Titiksha. So the person steadfastly stands and explores the path that that person has taken, is very determined, is also very reflective. Titiksha means you are looking at all your mental processes. Titiksha means that you are training your body to take new challenges. You are training your mind and intellect to take new challenges. That is an integral part of the tapa. You are also doing yajna. That is, you are always thinking of giving back. That is called yajna vritti. And you are always thinking about sharing. That is called dana. So whatever I have, I'll share. These are the real meanings of these three terms: yajna, tapa, dana. So if Titiksha includes all this, resilience is a state, resilience is a process, it's an active state. And Jnaneshwar, our own Jnaneshwar in Marathi, has used a wonderful word that is called Sahana Siddhi. Not Sahana Shakti, but Sahana Siddhi. सिद्धी ही साधक मिळवतो, पण तो तपश्चर्येतून मिळवतो. म्हणून सहनशक्ती नाही, कारण सहनशक्ती या शब्दामध्ये एक पॅसिव्हिटी आहे जी सहन सिद्धीमध्ये नाही. सो सहन सिद्धी और तितिक्षा और resilience is actually a process that has the ability to make people into better people, individuals into more human individuals, organizations into better learning organizations, societies into better empathic societies. So how do we look at it? We look at this scenario as something that requires from all of us that kind of a dedication to the process. At the same time, a challenge. If we stand that, then a great chance to write the history. And then possibly 3-4 generations back, those people will be grateful. They would say that there was these times and there were people who showed us how to tackle the crisis and stand tall in spite of the reverses. So that is how we need to look at all the things around us. There are going to be problems. Let's not deny problems. I, for one, every day in my OPD, I'm seeing problems. I have been active directly from the first day of the last lockdown, from last April, continuously. And I've been seeing patients, not a single day I have kept my OPD closed, and I have decided, and I've been doing that so far, that I do my patient counseling or patient consultation only directly. And my screen time I give to society. And fortunately, all my colleagues, since I work in a group, all my colleagues also work online. So patients always have access to one doctor. But I do my consultation face to face. Now I have suppose decided that. Now I have to do that diligently all throughout. And what is very important is that when I do this, I give that to the process. I see a lot of maladies every day. But then I remember that I have to share. Wherever I can share knowledge, I will. Wherever I can share my skill by giving a prescription, I will. Wherever I can share my thoughts in counseling, I will. And wherever I can just be with that person directly or indirectly, I will. Only some 2 weeks back, I was talking to a girl who had lost her father in Corona, 21-year-old, appearing for her final professional exam, which was just 7 days after that. Now, what will you tell this girl? Is a sermon going to be appropriate? Definitely not. So I was with her in her moment of that grief, because that's what I could do. And I could put all my emotions in that silence just to be with that girl. And I considered myself fortunate that I was with her directly. And when I could resonate myself with all the emotions of that girl, a sentence came out of me. It said, "Your father is an integral part of your career aspirations now," I said. And then I realized I had used "your father is." There was a silence, and then this girl nodded, looked up and said, "Yes." And then in a very suggestive tone, I said, "Do we think of at least appearing for that examination and just try to do our best as we are?" Again, there was a silence. And she appeared for the examination. So many times, it's that small support which you give most sensitively, most genuinely to people, that can again get them back from the brink of devastation. So that is what all of us have to do. That is what is the unwritten duty of all of us. And therefore, I always say this, and I'll share this with you because you are all cream of the society. What we require is a worldwide, universal healing movement. And there is always only self-registration. This movement should be strictly informal. It should be strictly taken out underground without any kind of advertisement and media exposure. Then only it will become a universal movement of healing. And all of us should be open for registration because self-register. But we require that. And if we become active members of this healing movement, we will be healing our own selves also. But then healing ourselves will also have a purpose. Go back to that mask. You breathe oxygen first because there is someone else in your laps waiting for your help. Thank you so much. I'll stop here and we'll have question answers.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sir. Now, question answer session, and Anaga, our moderator, will pick up, and let's have question answer session, Anaga.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Doctor. It was truly captivating. And Pula Deshpande has coined this very nice term where he said that Surya Nantar Kajwa Kasa Prakash Dakhvanar. Speaking after you is really making me realize how engrossed and captivated I was when I was listening to you. I have one question. I can't see you. Can you?
I'm there. I can see you.
Yes. Okay, I can see you now. Okay, there is a beautiful word you used called samaras, becoming one with the process. What is happening in the pandemic is we are having very, very short attention spans. We think that we are in the moment and we are snapped out of it immediately. It might be a phone call, it might be a news, it might be a COVID figure, it might be a loss of something very personal to us. in these times, how can we still remain Samaras? How can we focus on the task in hand?
Very nice. Anagha, excellent question.
Yes. Thank you.
You know, this question has been there with humanity for minimum 5,000 years. Why? Because there was this rishi during the Veda times. His name was Grutsmad. So this Grutsmad Rishi is known because he gave us two wonderful gifts. One is he is a person who invented weaving during that time, a long lost civilization. And second, he is the person, as CS you should know, he invented multiplication. So this Grutsmad, you know, because weaving is multiplication in a way.
Right.
So weaving and multiplication, he is supposed to be inventor of that. Now he has a prarthana, he has a prayer. And what is that prayer that he has while he is weaving? That when he is doing the weaving, in between the string will get cut. Dhaga tutel madhech. म्हणजेच डिस्ट्रॅक्शन.
बरोबर.
हा, तर ते गृत्समद ऋषी काय म्हणतात, प्रार्थना काय करतात की धागा तुटल्यावरती मला एवढीच बुद्धी दे की धागा जोडेन आणि परत पुढे जाईल. So this is what we call today as distraction management.
Correct.
When the distraction comes, there are two ways in which all distractions can be treated. One, attend immediately, or file, or discard. Yes.
Correct.
Attend immediately, file, or discard, isn't it? So putting the shloka of Grutsmad in 21st century, whenever distraction happens, don't abandon weaving.
Right.
You have to continue. Treat distraction as distraction. Classify into three. Deal with it. Go back to the process. If you don't do so, then your distraction becomes diversion.
Okay. And is the difference between diversion and distraction the amount that I'm away?
No, and basically you go away from your goal. That is diversion.
Correct.
Distraction is from the goal, but it has the possibility to come back to goal. In diversion, you change your path, na?
Correct.
And then it takes a very long time to come back to your goal.
Between
you have lost. आणि मग काय होतं, शी आता कशाला, आता तो गोलच नको.
Correct. Abandoning of goal. Correct. Yes.
So that is something which is very, very interesting about distraction. So don't convert distraction into diversion. Try that. आणि त्याची प्रार्थना करायची. Distraction is distraction. ते येणार. कारण all distractions are not within my control. आपण जे म्हणालो ना, within control आणि beyond control. So all distractions will not be within my control. बरोबर आहे? म्हणजे असं समजा मी एकदम मूड मध्ये आहे, मी कामाला बसलोय आणि एकदम लाईट गेली. तर ते लाईट जाणं काही माझ्या कंट्रोल मध्ये नाहीये. पण मूड जायचा की नाही हे माझ्या कंट्रोल मध्ये आहे. म्हणजे आपलं काय होतं, लाईट गेले पण मूड येतच नाही. लाईट येतात पण मूड येत नाही. तोपर्यंत मूडच गेला माझा. आता नकोच ते करायला. So that is something which I have to be careful about, and that is where Nanaga, that part, your commitment to goal, not only your commitment to goal, but you living your goal is going to be very important. When you live your goal, not only commitment to goal is one important point, but after that, when you are with the goal, you become a goal, then distractions also are not treated as distraction by our mind. म्हणजे आपण आजूबाजूला हे अमुक आलं ना, त्याला तिथे ठेवलं पण चालू, ते तिथे ठेवलं ते चालू. म्हणजे आपण डिस्ट्रॅक्शन ला काय मानणार याच्यावरती खूप खूप महत्वाचं आहे ना. आणि डिस्ट्रॅक्शन्स खूप येऊ शकतात ना. मी तुला गंमत सांगू का, मी बहुतेक को-होस्ट आहे आता, त्याच्यामुळे ना मला नेहमी न्यू एंट्रंट्स असे व्ह्यूज मी पूर्ण बोलतोय तेव्हापासून येत आहेत आणि मी त्या सगळ्यांना ऍडमिट करतोय बोलता बोलता सो मी किती जणांना ऍडमिट केलं आता आपलं
Correct.
हे चालू झाल्यापासून.
Correct. But the flow of
तर-
lecture is not stopped.
द पॉइंट इज की तो डिस्ट्रॅक्शन होता ना मला आता तुझ्याशी बोलत असताना. तर मी त्यांना आले की मी त्यांना टक टक करतोय, त्यांना ऍडमिट करतोय. मी कोणाला वेटिंग ठेवलेलं नाहीये आतापर्यंतच्या तासामध्ये. माझ्याकडे आले तर सगळ्यांना ऍडमिट केलं मी. सो द पॉइंट इज की हे मी करू शकतोय ना बोलताना, मग मी का नाही करायचं? मग मी तुला कशाला माझं माझी माझ्याकडे तुम्ही को होस्ट देऊ नका, हा तुम्हीच ते सगळं घ्या, कशाला सांगू? मी करतो, आता पण केलं बघ कोणाला तरी. दिस इज व्हॉट इफ आय कॅन डू. काय आहे ना, आपल्याला आता या एंडेमिक मध्ये अजून एक गोष्ट कुठली ताब्यात ठेवायला पाहिजे, कंप्लेनिंग अँड क्रिबिंग. इतक्या गोष्टी आहेत हो कंप्लेन करायच्या म्हटल्या तर. हा म्हणजे लशीच्या नंबरापासून ते काय वाटेल सगळे आहे. ते आपल्याला लोक भेटत नाहीयेत पासून, आणि जेन्युइन आहेत. हा म्हणजे असं काय मला म्हणायचं नाही की आपण उगीच कंप्लेंट करतो. अरे पण त्या कंप्लेंट आणि क्रिबिंग मध्ये आपला किती वेळ जाणार आहे? मग तिथे हेच वापरायला पाहिजे ना की डिस्ट्रॅक्शन सारखं, की सम हॅव टू बी डेल्ट विथ, सम हॅव टू बी फाईल्ड, अँड सम हॅव टू बी नाही काय करू शकत सध्या. सो अगेन द सेम प्रार्थना ना, जे टाळणे अशक्य. Whatever is beyond my control, that I have to accept. Whatever is within my control, I have to continue to do. हे मला सतत डोक्यामध्ये ठेवलं पाहिजे. Yes, Anaga.
Right. Yes. Am I audible, sir? Okay. We have a question in the chat box which says, Doctor, I worked similar to you in the area of de-addiction. What we have observed is that people have become more addicted during this pandemic to the internet. How can one control the urge to use internet? And how do you think it will be a social issue? I think, let me rephrase it a little bit. We are also having this fear of missing out, the FOMO. So we want to know continuously, what are our friends doing? What is happening? Who is celebrating birthdays? Who is going at parties? Who is going on vacations? How can we control the urge to know it, but still feel connected to what is happening?
So त्याच्यामध्ये काय ना की this net part ना is an integral part of our life now. आणि इवन इन द पोस्ट कोविड टाइम्स इट इज गोइंग टू रिमेन. म्हणजे आता आपल्याला वी हॅव टू मेक आवर सेल्फ रेडी टू दिस पॉइंट की सगळी कामं आता आपल्याला अशी हायब्रिड पद्धतीनेच करायला लागणार. आणि त्याचे फायदे पण आहेत, असं नाही की त्याचे काही तोटे आहेत, काही त्याचे फायदे आहेत. नाहीतर आता मी आता बघितलं 350 माणसं झाली आहेत. ही 350 माणसं त्यांच्या घरात बसून कुठे करू शकले असते हा कार्यक्रम असा. त्यामुळे हे पुढे पण होणार आहे आणि ते होऊ दे. दॅट इज गुड. पार्ट्स आर ऑलवेज गुड. वी शुड इव्हॉल्व आउट ऑफ दॅट. आता तुझा जो मुद्दा आहे की दॅट बिकमिंग एक्सक्लुझिव्ह, म्हणजे नेट ऑर द स्क्रीन, आय विल से स्क्रीन बिकमिंग व्हेरी एक्सक्लुझिव्ह रिझन. तर ते तसं होईल का? आता आपल्याला दोन गोष्टी दिसत आहेत की सोशलायझेशनचं डिप्रायव्हेशन लोकांना जाम छळतंय. बरोबर. So people are going to come out. So they are not going to be that much addicted to screen later on. म्हणजे लोकांना काहीतरी आता समजते की नाही याला हे यायला पाहिजे, भेटायला पाहिजे असं वाटतंय. तुला वाटतंय, मला वाटतंय, सगळ्यांना वाटतंय. So that is going to happen to some extent. But will it cause problem? Yes. In a susceptible individual, it could cause problem. That those people could go into what we call as, we don't use the word addiction there. A better and more scientific word is obsession. So we say screen obsession. त्याचं कारण मी तुला सांगतो की ऍडिक्शन आपण असं जेव्हा म्हणतो तेव्हा ऍब्स्टिनन्स इज द स्ट्रॅटेजी. म्हणजे मी जेव्हा म्हणतो अल्कोहोल ऍडिक्शन तेव्हा स्ट्रॅटेजी इज ऑलवेज ऍब्स्टिनन्स. बट इन स्क्रीन्स केस यू विल रिअलाइज की दॅट इज नॉट गोइंग टू हॅपन. So from screen obsession, I have to come to a regular healthy use of screen. म्हणून it is better to use the terminology of obsession rather than addiction. तर आता मग कमिंग बॅक टू प्रॉब्लेम तसाच आहे. तो काही म्हणा त्याला, तो प्रॉब्लेम ऑब्सेशनचा आहे. मग आता त्यासाठी आपल्याला काय करायला लागेल? तर त्याच्यासाठी आपल्याला इंडिव्हिज्युअल्स अँड फॅमिलीज विल हॅव टू हॅव screen discipline policies. सो स्क्रीन डिसिप्लिन पॉलिसीज आपल्याला घ्यायला लागतील. आता स्क्रीन डिसिप्लिन पॉलिसीज म्हणजे काय, त्याचं मी तुला एक छोटंसं उदाहरण देतो आणि त्याच्यानंतर आपण आपल्या आवाहन IPH इज अवर YouTube चॅनल. So I will request all the audience members to subscribe our free channel Avahan IPH, which is dedicated to mental health. त्याच्यावरती आम्ही सध्या स्क्रीन ऑब्सेशन वरती एक सिरीज रन करतोय. So we are running a lot of series on different mental health problems through our channel. पण ती तुम्ही बघा, पण मी आता तुम्हाला एक छोटं गंमत सांगतो की जी तुम्हाला सगळ्यांना घरी करता येईल स्क्रीनच्या बाबतीत. So if you look at my hand, my palm is the mandatory use of screen. Look at my palm as a mandatory use of screen. And then I have 5 finger, which is my voluntary use of screen. So mandatory means for my profession, as if I'm a student, I'm an executive, मला जो करायला लागतोय ना स्क्रीनचा वापर, that is my palm.
Okay.
So these 5 are my voluntary, म्हणजे याच्यावरती मला चॉईस आहे. त्याच्यामध्ये this is called टाइम पास. हा, तुझा फोमो तिकडे टाइम पास. किती आले लाईक्स वगैरे बघायचं. दिस फिंगर. देन यू हॅव दिस फिंगर. आता या फिंगर मध्ये काय आहे, तर ही जी दुसरी फिंगर आहे हिला म्हणायचं सोशलायझेशन. फर्स्ट फिंगर टाइम पास, सेकंड फिंगर सोशलायझेशन. दिस फिंगर द टॉलेस्ट, तिला मी म्हणतो इट इज कॉल्ड एज्युटेनमेंट, म्हणजे तिला म्हणायचं ज्ञानरंजन. म्हणजेच त्याच्यामध्ये तुमचं एंटरटेनमेंट पण होत आहे, पण तुम्हाला थोडे विचार पण मिळत आहेत. म्हणजे इफ यू गो टू से आवाहन IPH, our channel, which is a edutainment channel.
I was just going to say that. Yes.
So we have these Ved is our event. So there are around 375 interviews, very inspiring interviews of Ved, which are there on our channel. So that is edutainment. मग आता चौथी फिंगर एंटरटेनमेंट, म्हणजे असं टाइमपास एंटरटेनमेंट. डोकं बाजूला ठेवून असं म्हणतो ना आपण. आणि मग काय राहिला, मग राहिला अंगठा. Now look at अंगठा. अंगठा is very important. So thumb means that this is learning through the screen, but learning which is not related to my palm. म्हणजे मी असं काहीतरी लर्न करेन जे माझ्या पामचं नाही आहे. म्हणजे फॉर एक्झाम्पल, सपोज आय एम अ मेंटल हेल्थ पर्सन, सो आय विल हॅव in my palm wala use of screen, I will have say my consultation, I will have seminars, webinars, right? I will have my own continuing medical education things वगैरे. But suppose I'm interested in history and I learn history na, then that is my thumb. म्हणजे it is learning but outside my domain.
Right.
Now do you see ki 5. So these are the 5 fingers. So now I have to have a cohesion between the 5. So if we have the cohesion, तरच काय होईल, घास बरोबर
जाईल.
बरोबर आहे. So now, आणि why this is very simple. पण हे सिंपल का महत्वाचं आहे, कारण हे तुम्हाला मुलांनाही समजावून सांगता येतं. So everybody can understand this. मग हा जसा माणसाचा घास आहे ना, तसं कुटुंबाला पण ही पॉलिसी करायला पाहिजे. आमची पॉलिसी काय असणार आहे. मग त्याच्यामध्ये ही पण पॉलिसी करायला पाहिजे की अख्ख्या कुटुंबामध्ये नो स्क्रीन टाइम काय असणार. सगळ्यांनी सगळ्यांचे स्क्रीन बंद ठेवायचे असं काय असणार. बरोबर. मग हे आपल्याला पॉलिसीच सगळे आता इव्हॉल्व्ह करायला लागणार ना. कारण आता शाळा सुद्धा, म्हणजे एकदा पोस्ट कोविड टाइमची एज्युकेशन कसं असणार आहे याच्यावरती आता लोक विचार करायला लागलेच आहे. ते सुद्धा मला नाही वाटत की सगळंच्या सगळं आता ऑफलाईन असेल, कारण ऑनलाईनचे काही चांगले भाग जे कळलेत आपल्याला ते वापरू ते आपण पुढे त्या एज्युकेशन मध्ये सुद्धा. सो दिस इज हाऊ विल हॅव टू बॅलन्स फॉर फ्युचर, की त्यातले बॅड पॉइंट्स आहेत ते कमी करत नेणं, त्यातले गुड पॉइंट्स आहेत ते इंटिग्रेट करत नेणं वेगवेगळ्या सिस्टीम्स मध्ये, असं आपल्याला त्याच्यातून करायला लागणार आहे. पण नी जर्क रिस्पॉन्स चालेल का, नाही चालणार. ऑल बॅड तसं नाही चालणार, ऑल स्क्रीन गुड पण नाही चालणार. हे आपल्याला हेतूप्रमाणे आणि अख्ख्या याचा उपयोग करून आपल्या पामचा आपल्याला
Got it. Thank you so much. Let me see if we have more questions. Anandji, when we have gone through prolonged stress and lost confidence and focus because of negative situations, how do we get back to equilibrium, sir? And yeah, yes, continue.
And
I was going to merge it with the second question, but I think you will answer it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So see, what is very important is that don't take your mind, as I told you, as something which is very solid. Don't believe that you are a Superman or a Superwoman. We said that we should accept our vulnerabilities also, that in the times of distress, there are people who can have very, very bad, means harmful bouts of distress. And therefore, it's very important to take mental health help whenever required. And this is the time to break the stigma and come to a mental health professional and take help. Now you will definitely ask, when should we do this? So for that, for all of you, I'm again giving you that 1, 2, 3, 4, because this is important. Like that palm, this is also important that we understand that. Now see, focus on this. Whenever any undesirable emotion, such as anger, anxiety, depression, guilt, they become more intense, more durable, and more frequent. So which are the 3 points? Intensity, frequency, and duration. So intensity, frequency, and duration. Correct? When they become, they change, they worsen in terms of intensity, frequency, and duration, then to the extent that starts affecting my health, my major goals in life, my productivity, my relationship, and my leisure activities, that is taking happiness in life. If when they start affecting these 5 things, then there is a time to start sharing with somebody. It may not be a psychologist, psychiatrist in the first place. It could be a trusted family member. It could be a colleague. It could be a friend. It could be a mentor in your community. And after talking, after discussing, after sharing your vulnerabilities, then you can decide, okay, what is going to be your action plan. And please keep mental health consultation as one alternative available in the whole recovery plan.
Understood. And it also makes me come back to another question. You spoke eloquently about empathy. And what we do sometimes when someone comes to us with a mental health problem, we tell them, "अरे तुला फक्त हेच होत आहे ना, बाहेर लोक मरतायत. It's okay, get on with your problem." What are the correct things that we can say to support people? I think that we are not equipped with the right things to say.
छान आहे. याच्यावरती आपल्या चॅनल वरती खास सिरियल्स आहेत, तर त्या बघा. बट आय टेल यू, आता तुझे हे म्हणालीस ना, एक्झॅक्ट लोक बाहेर मरतायत, तुमचं काय घेऊन बसलाय. सो व्हॉट वी डू इज दॅट वी ट्रिव्हियलाइज दॅट पर्सन्स इमोशन्स. अरे तुला तर वाटतंय हे काय एवढंच आहे, बाहेर बघ. Sometimes what we do is, sometimes we terribilize. अरे आता हे वाटायला लागलं ना तुला, आता काय तुझं खरं नाही. So we have a tendency to trivialize, and we have a tendency to terribilize that person's emotions. Same tendency we use.
Correct.
The same tendency we use on our own emotions also. Okay. Now we don't have to go to those 2 poles of terribilization and trivialization. But then what we would like to do is to mirror that person's emotions first. What is called as mirroring of emotions means, की आता तुला ना खूप त्रास होतोय हे मला कळत आहे. I can understand that currently you are in a delicate state of mind. I know how delicate your mind must have become in this stage. So what you are doing, you are aligning your emotions with that person's emotions. You are not making a judgment about that person's emotions. So being non-judgmental first is a very important primary requisite. That whenever somebody is telling you anything about their own emotions, first thing is first say that yes, it can happen to you. Currently, you are experiencing this. Then we will come to it now, how realistic it is, how unrealistic it is, how harmful it is, how helpful it is. We'll make that analysis. But first, align yourself with the other person's emotions, because otherwise, people feel very threatened and challenged, especially during these times, that nobody understands me. That is the message goes. So this is primarily that empathic part that all of us have to really practice in our own life. आणि मग बऱ्याच वेळेला कसं असतं, इफ यू डू दॅट, then what will happen is की बऱ्याच वेळेला त्याला त्याचं सोल्युशन सापडतं. He gets his own solution. What he requires at that time is not actually a solution. He just requires support. So we have to look out for situations where people sometimes may require only support. Sometimes they will require both part of support and part of helping them to find a solution also. Right? Sometimes you will be a part of the solution also when it is at the community level or social level. So all these things will have to be kept in mind.
Okay. I have one more very small question before I take the questions in the chat box. You also spoke about battle and war, and you said that okay, I may have lost the battle, but there is a war. When we are in the battle, it feels like a war to us in that moment.
Absolutely.
It can feel all-consuming. How do we differentiate between, is this going to end? Is this going to matter in the long term? Because in that moment, it can feel very important to us.
Yeah. See, the point is that when you are fighting, battle and war is one.
You're on mute, sir. Sorry.
That distinction comes only afterwards. Okay. Now, where that distinction comes only after the outcome. During the process, battle or war, ती सारख्याच समरसतेने करायला पाहिजे आपल्याला. So what is very important is that I need to be completely samarasa with whatever I am doing. But later on, when I evaluate the outcome, if I link my self-worth to it, then what happens? That even though I must have only got a setback, that is losing a battle, I can equate it with losing a war. Why? Because for me, now this defeat, this setback that I have gone has told me that I am a failure. That is what I say when I say I attach it to my self-worth. Setbacks can happen. I can be reasonably and very realistically sad about them. Okay. But then what can happen to me is that I have a choice whether to attach it to my self-worth. That is, has this setback proven that I am incompetent, that I am permanently incapacitated, that I am permanently imbecile, incompetent, this, that person? No. So that is what I meant by that. How do you do your outcome evaluation? That has a bearing on your resilience.
Correct.
Because if your outcome evaluation takes you towards emotional devastation, then it is a direct impact on your resilience. Na? So that outcome evaluation is a very important point.
Got it. Thank you. Okay, we have a question. I'm going to take questions in the chat box now. In our fraternity, many have lost family members, friends, and also close clients. Going to other CA because of this pandemic, how to restart again? I think how to restart is a very good question. We all need a restart.
Restart the life, no?
Yes. Yeah. After losing someone.
After losing somebody, yes. That's a thing that all of us are finding it very difficult now. How to deal with grief. And see, the point is that there are two aspects. There is a grief that is inevitable. When I lose somebody, I have also lost a lot of very close people during this pandemic. So there is grief, which is a inevitable emotion. Do we fight with that inevitable emotion? We shouldn't. But then, along with grief come our secondary emotions. Means, along with grief, it comes ki हाच का, why did I lose him? Why he had to go? I have contributed to the loss. Would I have done better?
Guilt, blame.
All those emotions that actually convert that pain into suffering. So we need to understand that grief has two folds. One is the grief, and the second is all these emotions that sprout out from grief. And we have to therefore first look after all these emotions. So if we have them, note them and work on them. And then come to the grief part. And then when you come to the grief part, then we have to think about what does that loss means to me. Then people, different people will have different answers to this. But there will be a common denominator that will say that this loss means that I will never meet, interact, and we will be with this person in its bodily form. In the physical form that the person used to be with me, I'll never be. Now that is again the inevitable part. Then in how many ways I can be with that person is the next question. And then there are many answers to this, not one.
Correct.
So through the values that I have learned, through the knowledge that he has given, through the bonding that he has given, through the emotions that he has, there are so many answers there.
Correct.
And then that will help me to lessen my load, right? And that is a gradual process, and I need to give time for that. Things do not happen overnight. See, what has happened is all of us want quick fix solutions for emotions. That's not possible. That's not possible, and that I don't see it ever becoming possible. When we even give medication for disorders of emotions, we always tell them that give our medicines at least 4 weeks. Because even when you use chemical means, that requires 4 weeks.
Correct.
So when you are dealing with your emotions, is there a quick fix solution? It's not. Second point that most people think about, I want a solution without discomfort. That is impossible.
Correct.
Because human life is not without discomfort. Human life is not without the dukkha part. We have to choose how we look at that dukkha, how we look at all the tragedies around us and within us. So that is something which is very important in grief.
Very beautifully put. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, there is a question which is also very pertinent. What about huge financial loss? Since I'm a bit old, not very tech savvy, client is going to a CA who is tech savvy. Then I feel come what may, I need to go to office and do work, taking life risk. I think this insecurity, the financial insecurity, it's very deep inside all of us.
All of us. And I think this person, not for only this person, but generally,
anyone.
What is the need of the hour? The need of the hour is to rethink about our lifestyle. Rethink about what are our needs, what are our comforts, and what are our luxuries. And do we actually need some of them? I think that is a very important question, and that's a root. If we have to do a root cause analysis, then we will have to look at our lifestyle.
Correct.
That there is a financial setback. Okay, so there is something that happens on your balance sheets, but there is something that happens in the lifestyle of that person. You as financial people will give him different alternatives, to recover or whatever to do. But emotions, for that he will have to look at his own lifestyle, not individually but as a group. So this is a very hard soul searching that many people will have to do. Again, this is not going to happen without discomfort, but great opportunity. I have written in my book. It is called Karण्याचे दिवस, कळण्याचे दिवस. It has been published in Marathi, so it is available. It's available on the net also. So you can order the book. In that, I have written in detail about lifestyle analysis. After during the COVID times, what we should do, how we should look at money, how we should look at lifestyle in a very detailed manner. I have written. So you can people interested can go there. The same Karnache Divas is available as an audio series on our Avahan page. So you can go through that. So, but that is something. See, financial loss, the setback part we have covered in that war and battle. That is for the person who has received that setback. But the lifestyle part is something that the person has to do. That takes me to the third part, that is tech savviness. Tech savviness is more related to attitude and not to age. So if somebody is making an excuse of age, that person should go back and reflect and introspect. Because I am seeing so many people in their 90s absolutely tech conscious. Now, if you have a cognitive problem, memory problem, I understand. But just because I'm getting old, actually technology is there to serve you.
Correct.
So I think beliefs regarding technology are more important than chronological age.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, we have a question and I'm going to link these two questions because they are close. Dear sir, CA students are going through a lot of exam stress or work stress or relationship stress. What is your advice to them? Does any form of physical activity like sports, etc. help in reducing the stress levels? And then we have a question of mental exercises. How should we meditate? What are the types of meditations that you would advise and any tips on mental exercise? So let's make it physical and mental.
Yeah. Now, all these tips are very good. All those tips are always nice. Means diet, exercise, yoga, meditation. Let me come to a very common point about all, because that is something that I can say in these 2-3 minutes. Whenever you are advised something, some good thing, dietary, exercise, this, that, and suppose you are able to do it also. Then you need to know as to how you are going to look at what you have chosen. Means, suppose somebody tells you to exercise, then your choice, how you are going to look at that exercise. Somebody says you diet, healthy food, then सब ये घास फूस खाने का है, हाँ ये सैलड खा के क्या होना है यार, बाकी के लोग तो सब खाते हैं, उनको कुछ होता नहीं है, मेरे को ही होता है. Then you will not enjoy the salad also.
Correct. Comparison is a big soul sucker. Yeah.
And that takes you away from your process. So comparison takes you away from your. Also, you do it as a compulsion. Meditation को बैठो, yoga को बैठो. So it doesn't come to me that let me do it unconditionally. Let me do it. So that kind of a fluency is not there. And if the fluency is not there now, then you do 10 things. They are going to help you in a very limited manner.
Right.
And for fluency, what is very important is that you focus on the process and add what you have to the process. So I am doing, say, yoga abhyas, I am doing meditation. And for meditation, I need to totally focus on that process. I have to learn. And things like meditation, do they have goals and results? They don't have. Everybody who starts meditating now starts asking me, "Mag ata 6 महिन्यांनी काय होणार?" So you know that I'm going to go an inch further near heaven if I meditate.
Enlightenment. Yes.
And what will
right.
do? So this meditation, yoga, abhyas, most of these spiritual things, they are not for results, and that is where people make a very, very important mistake. And then they they make the whole process very conditional.
Right.
The more you make the process conditional, you lose the beauty of it, and you lose the quality of it. So when all this happens, then you will find that you are then there is a problem. So you do whatever good is there, whatever healthy is there, but do it with all these elements added in.
Correct. Correct. Got it. Okay. We have a lot of appreciation messages also, which are, I would love to read them out, but we are on a paucity of time because I want to take some questions. Yesterday we had circulated a survey form through which we have a certain questions. One of which is I really found relevant: how to recognize the need to take a break or stop, and then how to tide over the break.
Very nice. That is called as leisure movements.
Hmm.
How to generate your leisure movements, even when you are busy, and even when you are facing uncertainty. That is a skill.
Right.
And that is a skill that one has to imbibe. I give this example of a friend of mine who was working with the Indian Army, and he was telling me about his experience of 71 war against Pakistan.
Wow.
And he said, we were in the bunkers and the action was fully on, and we were defending our position. So heavy war was going on. In between, it used to be a lull. And then I used to tell my colleagues that for half an hour, I'll catch a nap. And in that uncomfortable bunker, this friend of mine used to go to sleep like a baby. And he used to tell his colleagues that don't bother to wake me up. When the firing starts, I will automatically wake up. Now, this is a skill to relax during uncertainty. And this skill can come to, I also asked him, no, okay, how do you do this? You know, we heard of Napoleon, na? He used to take a 2-minute nap on the horseback. It's just a skill which comes out of practice and discipline. It's not only me, but if lakhs of soldiers of Indian Army can do it, why not lakhs of Indians can do it?
Correct. Correct.
You know, so my point is that it is not impossible to relax during leisure times, during uncertain times. But we will have to work out on our leisure. That we all require break. We all require leisure. We all require something to be totally dissociated from what we normally do. If we are lucky enough to make that a part of our life itself, wonderful. You know, like suppose I'm a doctor and suppose I also sketch, then what happens is that sketching for me becomes meditation, sketching for me becomes leisure. Correct? Or suppose I play an instrument or I listen to music, all those things, they help me.
Correct.
But then leisure is extremely important, because otherwise I would be inviting my burnout.
Understood. Okay. If we have time, I'm going to take.
I will one or two questions somebody has asked about my writing, so I'll just give you.
Yes, please.
Manogati is my blog. manogati.wordpress.com. So if you want to go through my regular writings throughout this pandemic, my continuous blog is called Manogati. So manogati.wordpress.com.
Okay.
So that is something. You can follow me on Facebook, but my Facebook friends are already done with. So, but you can.
Are they above the limit? Yeah. Okay.
And but you can follow me on Insta. So I put.
Oh wow! You are very savvy.
Lot of things on Insta, so which you can see. Right. So you can read my blog, which comes very regularly. My ebooks are there. So audio books are there. So there is my book of poetry, which is recently been published by Book Ganga. It is on the audio book, so you can listen to the poetries as audios also. So so in many ways my books are also available in many forms. So those people who are interested, they can just drop a mail to IPH, or IPH has a website called healthymind.org. So on healthymind.org, if you just post a mail, we'll send you the links. We also send books if you want to buy them. And in Thane area, Mumbai area, so it is very easily available. So if you drop a mail to us, we'll send you the links also. of
Super.
different various programs. People are interested nowadays in psychology and spirituality.
Correct.
So I have a 23-part serial on our Avahan IPH. It is
Okay.
subtitled in English, so all non-Marathi people can also listen to it. It is called Vedanta Vichar and Vyaktimatva Vikas. So 30 minutes episodes, 23 episodes, audio visual. So that whole
Super.
serial, which has been seen by a lot of people world over during this time, so that is also available. So all these things are available.
Correct. Correct.
Doctor,
I would
can you
highly.
also, Doctor, can you also throw some light on the helpline number that IPH is running? Someone in the
Yes.
chat box had asked for it, sir.
Yeah. So I will share with you our Maitra number. Maitra is our helpline. I will share that poster with you, which you can circulate with your people. The only point is that Maitra currently, I mean, will start from 15th of June, because that number is only one number. And today, most of our Maitra volunteers are using their own mobiles, because we are catering to Corona related people, their families. So if one family is referred to us, we are with them. Our one volunteer is with them for 2 to 3 weeks. So all our Maitra volunteers are currently using their own mobiles to cater to all these families. But by 15th, our regular Maitra will start, because everybody was in their own home. So what we did was, we had a directory. We had a liaison with many social as well as governmental organizations. And very nice to say that we have been in touch with almost 750 families. And we have tried to help them emotionally during this pandemic. And all my nameless and faceless volunteers have done that.
That is super. They had also lauded you on the anonymity. They said that you don't ask the name in the helpline, which really makes them comfortable in sharing.
Yeah. And I'll share Maitra number, because from 15th
Definitely.
we are starting.
Superb. Okay, I think we are good to go now. Yeah, I am so grateful to you for your time, for your insights. The past 1 hour of the question answers has been truly insightful for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Swapnil Kolte, I would request you to share a vote of thanks for today.
Dr. Nadkarni, sir, thank you so much for devoting your time. I know you are continuously lined up with all your appointments, but I'm really grateful that you could devote this time and you could help us in our motive. That one of the ICI's motive was to spread education, but the other motive is also that we are trying to inculcate is happiness in today's world. This was the start of it. This was the Shubharam of it. Thank you so much. And we are really grateful that we could start it with you. We hope that we conduct similar events in the future. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you all the participants for being here. And just one request, mental health is just another like your fever, like your cold, as Anaga always puts it. So don't shy away by talking about it or by seeking proper help. Maybe that will help in not aggravating the actual issue. So address it. And at the same time, if anyone else is facing through it, respect it at the same time. So thank you again. Thank you, Anand sir. Thank you, Shiv sir, and thank you, Anaga. At the same time, do connect with IPH for your own good. Anaga is also one of the counselors who's associated with the Thane branch of ICI. You can also get in touch with her. And Anand sir, of course, is there for all of us. Thank you, Anand sir, and thank you everyone again.
Thank you. Thank you. I would also like to thank Team Vikasa for giving me this opportunity. It was truly life-changing for me. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And just before end of session, before leaving, we have one announcement. We have already circulated our Vocal for Local 4 series that will be on 10 to 13 June. All of you are requested to please do register. Mangesh sir, कुछ आप बोलना चाहेंगे? Okay. Thank you everyone for taking time out. Sanjeev Brahme sir, once again, thank you. Big thank you. I am obliged to you. Thank you.
I am sorry, I forgot to mention Sanjeev sir. Sir, this program would not have been possible without you, sir. Thank you so much for always being with us and for always helping the institute, even after 6 years of being away from the position. We are always grateful to you, sir. Thank you so much.
Now, formally, I am announcing end of the session, end of the seminar. Thank you.